Sparklines are simple but effective data visualizations to use in Excel when a full chart may not be necessary. So in an instance where you have a report and maybe you're limited on space, you have a lot of numbers on there, but you want to show a little data visualization, or maybe the stakeholders who are going to be reading your report, they don't need all the detail of the axes and such in a regular chart. So those are opportunities to use the Sparkline effectively. So let's take a look at this example and how I use some Sparklines. So on the left side here under the example, we have 2015 quarter-over-quarter company financial information. And so I tried to make it look nice, and I added a little highlights on this chart, but it might be easy for somebody who's just interested in the annual trending and not the specific numbers to go ahead and look at the Sparklines on the right to get a sense of what happened in 2015. And so we've got lines and we've got columns. So those are two different types of Sparklines. The lines are obviously just trending lines, and then the columns are really bar charts. And on our lines here, we've got the line that's showing the trending, but I've also got little markups that are these little dots here, and they indicate the actual amount or the actual value at the quarter. So let's go ahead and recreate these down here in 2016 data, and I'll go ahead and show you guys how simple it is to do a Sparkline and how much impact it can make on your presentation. So under this 2016 data, we've got the same type of financial information. It's quarter over quarter, it's for 2016, but see how I'm not currently showing any Sparkline, so it's hard to just immediately look at that chart and get some sense of, what the trending is like. I mean, I could look at it and I could spend some time, but maybe I'm on my phone, or, maybe, you're sending it to the CEO and he's a very busy man. He's really more interested in the trending and not so much the specific values. So Sparklines are very simple to input, and they're very easy to use, and because they're not as complicated as a chart, it's not as complicated to implement. So let's go up to the Insert tab up here on your left, and then over to the right center, you see a Sparklines area, and you can always remember Sparklines are near the charts, and maybe think to yourself next time you use a chart, would this be a good opportunity for me to use a Sparkline? And for Sparklines, we have the line Sparkline option, the column Sparkline option, and a win-loss Sparkline option. I don't find the win-loss option to be especially useful in business or academic, so I'm not going to review it in this video, but let's just concentrate on line and column for now. So let's go ahead and insert a line Sparkline like we have up top for 2015. So the first, it just gives you a little user interface where you're going to implement the data that you want the Sparkline to calculate over, and then the cell where you want the Sparkline to exist. So data range, excuse me, I'm actually going to highlight all of our data here. Okay, so Sparklines are the input of them is very easy, and you can do it over a wide range of data quite simply. So I'm going to highlight all columns and all 4 rows. Okay, but so when I go to choose my location range, now that I have 4 columns selected, I'm actually going to select 4 columns for my Sparklines to exist. And I'm going to hit the little arrow there, hit OK, and immediately Excel goes ahead and calculates some Sparklines on our behalf. And so now we can kind of get a sense of starting to compare our Sparklines from 2015 to 2016. So let's look at GP percentage, for instance. Over here we see a high GP percentage, and then it goes down, and then it goes up for Q3, and then even up again for Q4. Whereas in 2015, it started high and it decreased all the way to Q3, and then it took a huge spike in at the end of Q4, excuse me. So we can already see a little bit of changes just quickly looking at these simple Sparklines, but let's go ahead and format them. So the way I entered these Sparklines are all going to be a group. So any type of changes I'm going to make to one is going to occur to all. So if I want to go up here to the Design tab that will now appear when you click on your Sparklines, there's an Ungroup tab here, and that would permit you to ungroup a specific Sparkline and format it specifically. So let's go to the Sparkline color, which is over here on the right. and Excel does offer you a bunch of different styles, but I'm going to create my own. So for the Sparkline color, let's go with this, just the regular green this time. So, and we see immediately my Sparklines all changed to green. But see how these have dots and these don't have any dots. So I'm going to click on the Sparklines again. The design tab comes up, and under marker color this time, I'm going to go down to markers, and now it's going to give me an option for what color do I want my markers to be. So I'm going to actually just make them black here for our purposes, and because they're easy to see. So now I can see the quarter, the value at, or I can decipher what the value was at each quarter. But see at my Sparklines up here, I have the cost of sales, which is all negative values. I have it a different color, and I also have the dots a different color, or the markers. So to do that, I'm going to click on just it. I'm going to go to design and see how it's selecting all of them. I'm going to hit ungroup, and that's going to take apart the cost of sales ones, because I want to denote that this is a different type of value. This is a negative value, and so I want to denote it by it being, I want the Sparkline color on it to be red. So I went ahead and added red there, and it just gives it eases the visual cue that there's something substantially different about this data than the other data that are on the Sparklines. So that's how you input a line Sparkline, and as you can imagine, inputting the column Sparklines is just as easy. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all my data again. I'm going to go to insert, but this time I'm going to go to column instead of line. And then when I do line, I've already selected my data, so it comes up here. And then I'm going to do my location range as the 4 rows. Hit OK, and I immediately have column data. So let's go ahead and we'll just do some minor tweaks to this. I'll show you a little trick. So if I go to design, and I'm going to go to Sparkline color, and I'm going to do, let's do dark blue for these. So now there's some dark blue columns, but see how, again, we've got an issue with our cost of sales because it is, actually these are bars that would be going down. So I want to call them out specifically. So again, I actually on the bar chart, I do not need to go to ungroup. I can go to marker color, negative points, and let's just do this one red. And so see what it did? It actually took any negative value and it highlighted it red, not just the chart. So if you want to call out negative values specifically, you just click on the bar chart, or excuse me, click on the smart chart, click on the Sparkline, do marker color, and then just select the color you want negative values to be. You can also do the max high point value, the max low point, first, last. So you've got a lot of options, but not an overwhelming number of options like you might find in a chart. So good, thank you, and good luck with using your Sparklines.